Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you are all doing fine. As you can see, there's a timer at the bottom of your, or in the middle of your screen for you, which is timing down until the release of 4.2.010. This is probably the first, I hope I'm not saying anything wrong, first stable release of 4.2.010, which will be recommended for league use. And I'm being joined now by Blade Killer in TeamSpeak. How are you doing, Blade Killer?
Hello.
Hello.
It's just a little bit hairy, but well, let's reserve the stable part for after release and see what the players tell us.
Exactly. Well,
It's always safer to just let them say yay or nay.
we'll just hope that we'll be stable. Let's put it that way, because
Well,
go on.
you do your best, but there's always something that slips through. Always. I've never had a release where there wasn't some bug that got through that we just missed in testing.
I
So
guess
you just,
that's the route to perfection.
yeah.
Well, it's actually a shoutcast or stream that I personally didn't prepare so well for as I would have liked, since the release of this version was kind of iffy until the last 24 hours, I would say. And well, thankfully we are here, and there will be a release in now 48 minutes. Um, if you know Raider, he is one of the people in charge of the website of urt.info. He's probably having a minor heart attack at the moment, hoping that everything will go right, because this is the first time that he set up, I think, a big server release. If I don't know. Maybe I'm just using words that I shouldn't be, but anyway, I'm kind of nervous, as you can mention. Blade Killer, how are you doing? Are you ready for this?
Me? Ready? Yeah, I am. I mean, I've been doing this for over 12 years,
I-
13 years almost. It'll be 13 years in August since I started this game,
did, did,
working on this game.
did you were you there? Were you in the team at the very beginning?
Almost. I was actually introduced to 1.0 by some of the dev members,
Hmm.
and I got my clan playing 1.27. I used to have a Quake 3 clan, and I used to skin for Quake 3. That's how they discovered me.
Okay.
And I got asked to join the team, and I joined August of 2000 when they released 2.0. And no, actually, that would have been 1.0. That's right. I joined then, and I worked on 2.0. I remember I had to do a weapon skin for the UMP 45.
Okay.
That was my test to join, and I got accepted.
Is
And I
is it
told them,
still the
well,
same one?
oh no, I've done three skins for it. The blue one is the latest one. That blue one that's in the game is from, it was, Crazy Butcher asked me to do the same one that Saddam Hussein was holding on Time magazine, the cover of Time magazine. So the blue really does exist.
Wow.
But I told the team at the time, well, I don't think I'll have very much time, but I'll do what I can. And 10 months later, I had done 1,600 hours work on this
Oh,
game. I have no idea how much I've put in since then.
that's
But
quite impressive. I think I already put too much time in this game, and that's just with shoutcasting. But I'm sure that it's nothing compared to what you have put in. But we are very appreciative of your work.
it's
Um,
worth it because you get to see everybody having fun. That's the whole motivation, is to see people having fun with the game.
I'm sure that you have given many people millions of hours of gaming time. I'm
I
very
hope
sure of
so.
that.
I know some people get angry because they're just really passionate about the game, especially if you compete.
It makes sense, but
Then,
you've made such a competitive, such a addictive game. I mean, for me personally, I've already been playing this game for 10 years or over 10 years, and I don't know, it's just too addictive. I always come back to it.
oh, well, I really, really miss competing myself. I used to compete. I was in Team United, Coil, XTC, and I can't play anymore because I have such bad arthritis in my hands.
It's
But I still test because I miss playing. I can't help it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't thank you enough, and I can't thank the rest of the team enough. I'm very glad to have been able to join your team, and well, hope to contribute myself as well in the future.
Oh, you already are.
I guess so, in a very minor way.
It's wonderful having a big team again. It just is so much fun to have so many people working on it, and we can do all kinds of stuff that we just didn't have the resources to do for a long time. I mean, we really thought the game was dead when we did 4.0. We were down to, what, 4 or 5 people, and we just didn't think we would ever be working on it again, and here we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Still here.
What is it, 3 years on or no more? God, when was 4.0?
I think it's 5, 6 years since 4.0. Oh, I think it's 5 years since 4.1.
Oh my God, I don't want to think about how much time has already passed in 4. I mean, I still consider the people who've joined Urban Terror in 4.1 the newbies, but I guess yeah, if you've put in so many years already, then you can't be called a newbie anymore. We actually have a couple of people that are joining in on 4.2 server. We hope to have a show match, but some people are having some trouble updating. Obviously, the updater has not been made available for the general public yet. So yeah, as I said, this is kind of last minute, or improvised at least. What is the biggest change, Blade Killer, compared to because I mean a lot of people will not have yet played 4.2 because, well, there have been some yeah, I don't know what to say, bad press for it. What's the biggest change in your opinion?
I think the thing that people really didn't like were the new animations, because they're so used to the ones that were in 4.1. I mean, they've had those animations since 4.0. That's when they were changed from the original animations. And I had to do that, and I hate animating as a result. It's really hard. And the way the old animations were done, it was done in a very old 3ds Max, and every frame was keyed. Most people won't know what that means. It's just, suffice it to say, it's a real headache. And I never ever want to animate ever again. So I'm very thankful to have Frankie. Trouble is, it's really hard for Frankie because he's using modern tools, and people don't like the way it looks because they're so used to a really stiff model that hardly moves. Yeah. So this release, he's worked very hard to emulate the old style.
I mean,
so,
how old is the engine? I mean, it's older than Urban Terror. So
it's from 1999. You know, it's
14
very
years old.
It really holds us back, but you make do. You know, we don't have $1 million to buy a good new engine. We have to build our own engine, and that takes a long time. Yeah. So that's what, you know, we are working toward with HD eventually, but that's something, because it's taking so long for the engine, we thought we'd work on 4.x. Yeah. Have some fun, keep the players happy with some new stuff to check out. The nice thing is they can play any version they want to. They've always been able to, and this way they have something new each time. I love the new skin forcing that's been added to this.
Yeah, that immediately brings us to the biggest feature, in my opinion, of 0.10.
For me especially, because now I can do anything. It frees me up to be able to make any kind of skin I want to make, because you don't have to use it. Whereas before, with only 2, I had to be really careful to make darn good sure that these things were visible. I mean, when I did the orange skin for, I don't even remember, was it 4.0 or was that done in 4.1? I can't remember anymore. I tested with QA so many different colors. I mean, we had hot pink for a while just to see. And the orange showed up better than the red. So I switched to the orange, made them prisoner suits. With over here, I don't know about in Europe what color prisoners wear there, but here they wear a bright fluorescent orange jumpsuit. So it made sense. Okay.
Yeah.
But now I can do soft colors. I couldn't do like desaturated colors before because people would complain. Remember the white skin? Yep,
certainly do. Actually, that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, mine too, and the team at the time. I had to pull it out because the majority of people didn't like it. They found it hard to see. Well, now I have a whole team of white skins. You don't have to use them if you don't like them. Or you might use them on one map where they show up properly and not on another. Yeah. There's a whole team of black. skins.
Well, people can see it. Actually, I made a small screenshot just before this stream, and you can see the left-hand bottom person. That's the cowboy skin, it's called.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I heard that was your baby.
And I didn't think I could even make it work. I thought that the buttons down the front were going to pull and distort funny on the model in game, because in Max, when I'm looking at the skin on a model, it's perfectly still and it's not twisted. But in game with the animations, they twist and turn. But it worked out great. It's my favorite skin, and I've got a new one on the go that it's ready yet, so it'll be in the next update, and maybe something else.
Okay, well, we're really looking forward to it.
And people can make requests, because if you want something really stupid looking, I can do it. And it doesn't matter, because people don't have to use it.
There was already, I also invited a lot of people to ask questions, but before I even got any questions, I was reading the forum of the news release, and there was already one question there. Maybe the person's watching, but he was asking, and what about the flags? If you are in the green team, for instance,
you have green flag.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to say.
You have green HUD elements. Every icon, it's a lot of work, because I had to do the flags, the icons for the flags, the wave icon, the hot potato icon, and all the shaders for all that. So I have a checklist, because otherwise you forget something.
And believe it or not, I already know that it's not Sorry that I interrupted you, but what I wanted to say is, and believe it or not, I already know that it's not completely perfect. But that's the thing. People should remember that this is a beta release. It's not like finished or whatever. All the feedback
is always beta.
It's always beta.
It's
exactly.
always beta. And to hear people saying that 4.1 is perfect is so ironic, because it isn't. They've just used to the bugs. They've adapted to whatever bugs are in the thing. I know it's never been perfect. No game is. That's why you always get updates.
Exactly. And I think, because Urban Terror is one of those few games that actually survives for over a decade now, and I'm sure that with 4.2 and HD it will survive for a couple more decades. There will always be people playing Urban Terror. It will always continue to evolve. And how many new people joined the development team in the last couple of years? Any idea?
Oh, it must be close to 30 people.
It's
because we only had about 4 or 5 people left on the team.
It's quite impressive, in my opinion, the amount of people. And also, before this, I think more or less the development team, this is 3.7 around that time, was,
that was me in 27.
American scene.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah, most of 3.0 was 27, and High C and myself and a few other people that were still on the team. But after that, it was all 27. High C had enough and quit after 3.0, as most people do. I've lost a lot of team members over the years from just...
I think you're the longest one running still, aren't you?
Yeah, I am now. Everybody else quit. It's funny to me to hear people saying that the best skins they ever saw were the ones when 2.3 was released, because the artist who did those skins quit because of the backlash from the community who hated them.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And then the other artists, there were only 3 skinners. I was one, and Miles and Freakstorm. Freakstorm quit first. After 2.3, he did all the uniforms with Miles' help, and I did the faces and hair. And I did weapon skins back then as well. And then Miles quit later when he had done some skins and they didn't like those. So I'm more stubborn. Don't like it? I'll do something new until you do like it, and I'll keep doing it for 10 years until you get it right.
Well, we hope that you continue doing on what you've been doing. Sorry, just some game sounds in the background. What I also wanted to say is that obviously, people should continue giving feedback. I guess that the right forum for that would be or the right method to doing that is the forums, right?
Yeah.
And
Just
keep
don't
it constructive.
troll.
Exactly.
Yes, there's a way to give feedback that doesn't hurt people's feelings. You gotta remember, people here do it because they love the game.
Yeah.
They're not doing it because they're paid. It's not like working at a game company where you do your job and you move on to something else and you never even look at the forums. You know, I don't think the people that work at EA have time to read the forums.
I doubt it.
But people here, we do it because we love it and we want people to be happy. That's our reward, is to see people playing the game and being happy. Of course, some people are going to be angry because something changed they were really into. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for them to get used to a change, and then they like it. But, you know, it just don't be nasty.
Yeah, don't say stuff looks
don't
like shit.
Denigrate people when
yeah, exactly.
Don't put people down. I mean, it's bullying when you do that.
Just say
and
it
that's
could
not
look better,
constructive.
or say what could change.
Think. Yeah. I would prefer red here instead of green. Can you do that?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing, rather than saying, "You stupid idiot, you did red here. Why didn't you do green?" And, well, you know what it's like.
I certainly do. I mean, we all unfortunately have to deal with trolls on the internet. It's just part of life. But yeah, of course, people put in.
The worst forums I've ever seen are the league forums. I swear it's a contest to see who can be the worst.
Actually,
I used to say when I played and read those forums, because I was playing, it's just gnashing of teeth and banging of drums.
But actually, I got one question already in the Twitch chat. Do you plan on making any of the voice radio calls?
I already am in there.
I know.
All your female sounds. I'm the death sounds.
Do you plan on making more?
Oh, more? Or new ones?
New ones, probably.
I'm always up for making more, and I'm always up for making new ones. But the problem there is having somebody to do them that has time to separate them and put the static on and stuff. So with everything else we're working on, that's kind of been pushed aside and last thing. But I would like to add announcers. I love the impressive from Quake. I'd love to add that. So
headshot.
Yes, exactly. I like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we can get that sort of thing added when we have time.
Well, thanks for that question, Muffy. I'm looking at the server at the moment, and I don't think that we're going to get a full team of 5, but since we have just over half an hour remaining until game release, I think it would be nice to go in. Blade Killer, are you available for some more questions maybe afterwards?
Sure.
Yeah? Cool.
Happy to answer questions, sure. You know, I always talk.
Fantastic. I'm sure that a lot of people will have more questions, and actually already got some on the Urban Zone Facebook. You can also post your questions there, by the way. I'm going to see if I can get these guys started, and in the meantime, or during that, I will also switch around the colors of the teams, just so that you can see a bit of everything.
That's something I want to say about this. Now, everybody's used to thinking of red team, blue team.
Yeah.
With this new system, when you change sides of the map, your colors go with you. So you're setting your team. You and your team members are the ally. So you are setting those skins, and you set your enemy skins. So it doesn't matter. You can be on the red side of the map, change to the blue side. You will still be what you set for your ally. So if you set yourself as black and the enemy is white, doesn't matter which side of the map you're on, you're going to be in black, and the enemy is always going to be in white. So to make it so you can tell whether you're on the blue or the red side, we actually have added that to the HUD elements, where your team name shows on the major scoreboard. When you hit tab, it shows in a little square whether you're underneath your score, whether you're red or blue side of the map. So that will help people to get used to it. It took quite a bit to get used to it, but once you get used to it, you really like it.
So Algiers won't anymore give an advantage for red, for instance, because it's a more red-based map in colors. It's just going to be you can choose the colors of your opponent, for instance, yourself.
Yeah. So if you are on a map that's green, and you're in free-for-all and the default skin is green, you can change them to white or whatever color is there. There's olive, there's desert, there's a whole bunch. There's 6 new colors. So, and more to come.
Fantastic. Well, I can't wait for it, to be honest. I'm going to quickly move over to the server. Going to show a little bit off of the game, and I'll be back with you later in Blade Killer. I really appreciate your time.
Alrighty, we'll talk to you later.
Okay, see you in a moment. And let's actually go over to the 4.2.10 server. And there you see, let me actually remove that timer there. Well, I'm in. At the moment I have the default colors, and there you can see, what's that? It's red again, so no more orange. And well, let me just show off that I can now change the color of my ally team to green. Oh, and the time limit hits. But at the top you can see the score now. It's green. Still the score is showed in a red element. I mean, that would be my first feedback. But it matters the way you bring it, obviously. But now you can see the rest of my team are also green. And as you can also hear, it's the Glock. Or well, you can't hear it now because I can't shoot, unfortunately. And you've got red. You've got blue, so this is going to be very confusing if you've blue and blue. You've got purple, orange, the good old-fashioned orange from 4.1.1, olive, white, black, desert. Actually, I like this one too. Look at how that goes into Algiers. And let me shoot off the Glock. It sounds a lot better than though it was. It still sounds a little bit tinny to my hearing, but and here you can see that the colors of the flag has also changed. So I'm going to ask these guys to ready up. And another potential problem for me personally, that is that 4.2 does not have a GTV option. But to be honest, I can solo shoutcast this. It's not going to be a big problem. Guys, I want to hear the color that you want of both teams. You can spam them now in Twitch chat. You have my my leave to spam for once. And while I'm waiting for you guys to give me your opinion, I'll just put them back to default. Okay, one person wants green, and since you are first, the Rasta Blaster, it's going to be green against purple. No, I want cowboy since it's Blade Killer's favorite color. People are already asking what happened to the colors. Well, that's one of the features that is brought with 4.2. You can now select the color of your opponent and yourself. And I can already hear a Negev in Kosan's hands. Magenta. Looks so much like Q3. I agree with you, Sotene. But don't we all love Quake 3? Great point there by Muffy. It will help colorblind people a lot, and actually it's also a feature that was in Battlefield, I think. Maybe Battlefield 3, that you could have a colorblind setting, which would actually change pretty much the whole game. But this is just going to be the player models. And I'm going to once more tell them to ready up. So for me personally, as a Frozen Sand member, but also an Urban Zone admin, I would really look forward to having this in the league. There was also a poll done by some Urban Zone and clan-based players who would have liked to play 4.2 already in this current season, but that's not going to happen. But maybe in April, when the Urban Zone season starts, we could. This is actually also quite confusing for me, because now I have to focus on the... Oh god, I can't shoot for when I'm streaming. Sorry about that. Well, while we're still waiting, I want to point out a different thing, because this is taking just a wee bit too long for my my liking. The big change also in 4.2 for FPS players, for competitive players, are the hitboxes. I tried to find an example of the hitboxes in 4.1.1, but there is a I couldn't find it, let's put it that way. But hitboxes in 4.1.1 are boxes, literally. It does what it says on the can. There are square boxes on the player models, and you try to hit them, and what can I say? The hitboxes usually lag behind the player, and with the improvements in 4.2, it's going to be very different. And Muffy is already asking, the new hit detection is like the old Ares system. Well, I'm going to show you off the new hit detection. I had Triton walk around the map, and wait a second, start here. Okay, so here we got the new map cascade, and Triton in the cowboy uniform, just walking around a bit. And I'm going to turn on the hitboxes now. Well, as you can see, they are not boxes. They are completely accurate to the player model, or as accurate as they can be for hitboxes. And that's why hitting people will be very different compared to 4.1.1. But yeah, that's also was a known bug in one of the releases, that hit detection wasn't good, but it has been fixed, or there has been work on it. But because the hitboxes now are constantly on the player model, it's also going to be very different for you as a player. No more hits when you're shooting behind a player. They will be accurate pretty much all the time. It's just that I'm not such a good player, so that will probably influence my game, and a lot of people's game as well, because you are used to 5 years of playing with hitboxes that are not accurate, and now they are pinpoint accurate, but yeah, it's just going to feel weird, let's put it that way. Now I'm going to just ready up for both teams, because I can't wait any longer. See there, blue team not ready. No, for me personally, they are not the blue team. And here you can see also red and blue. And now, because I'm confused, I joined the wrong side. Oh, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Good luck and have fun. They can figure it out themselves. We've got 20 minutes till the release, 21 minutes to be honest. People saying in the Twitch chat that joke's on me, according to Sailor Moon. He thought that there was that there wasn't a method in aiming. I do have a method. Usually it's missing though. And in 4.2 it will be missing as well for the first couple of months, but after that I think we'll all get used to it. And don't forget, we're all playing with the same handicap. Slash here defending. And give some good support to Anderson, who captures the flag. Blade Cool here, hanging back, but has to kill Anderson, and Anderson gets past. Well, Blade Cool having some trouble hitting. Let's see if we can follow Anderson here for a moment. People know me too well. My method of shooting is spray and pray, especially with the Negev in Team Survivor. Marquinhos trying to intercept the flag carrier at the moment, but no success. Kosan made it 2-1. Those are the new muzzle flashes, indeed. And you will also see, actually I'm not sure if the muzzle flashes are different, but the nades are different. Unfortunately we won't see it because Kosan is not going to assist us with that. To be honest, the muzzle flashes seem to be the same. And there you could see the nade explode. It's back to a real explosion instead of what looks like shrapnel flying around. And now, since we're following somebody in the Cowboy team, you can also see at the bottom, obviously, following SG Kosan, and it's still red. So, I mean, obviously this release is not perfect, but yeah, give us feedback and it will be worked on. Especially with the new updater that has been worked on by a lot of Frozen Sand coders. It's just so easy to make a quick release of a bug fix. In fact, there might already be a release within a couple of days, because I heard, now I don't know the language of Frozen Sand yet, but that there might be a QVM update. I'm sure people could tell me what a QVM is, but I for one am not one of those. Jon very low on health, will not get away. Phoenix kills him. Phoenix, one of the development team members. Well, people are already disagreeing with me that it should still be red and blue, but that really confuses me, having to think of 4 colors at the same time. But hey, each to their own, and I'm sure that... oh, that's another thing. You just saw Blade Cool killing Anderson there. Instant return of the flag. No more 4.1 waiting for the flag to hit the ground and get killed in the meantime, so that even though you were on the flag, there's no return. No, instant return. So that's something that I have been frustrated by so many times. So I'm really pleased with that. Wow, lovely shooting there by Blape. Let's follow Phoenix here for a moment. See if he has the same Frozen Sand skills as Nunu had when he got very far in the knockout competition. In the meantime, it's 17 minutes till the release of 4.2.010, and I can also tell you that there will be at least I think 15 servers up and running. So at least enough to house all the people watching at the moment. Or you can continue watching, of course, because we will have some more interviews. I for one would love to speak to Frankie V, but up to now he hasn't replied in IRC. Of course, people have their real life as well. Frankie V, the creator of the animations, which has also been a thorn in the tie of a lot of people wanting not to adapt to 4.2. I heard people calling them the spaghetti monster animations. I really like that, to be honest. I'm sure probably Frankie didn't, but hey, it's part of what comes with the territory as a development team member. Marquinhos with full health, not being hit. Do you know what a good feature would be? Maybe when the screenshots get made, that they are always in the default colors. I think that would be something that could really reduce confusion for instance, admins. In the meantime, it really seems that the blue team is doing a good job. It's 10-5, but red is hard on their heels. Still 4 minutes remaining. People that have questions, actually don't put them in the Twitch chat. PM me on IRC. I'm sorry about that, but I just can't keep track of all of them. Still people coping with a couple of issues trying to hit. Actually, I'm so much feeling like I should join them. Nice nades being thrown there by Slash from Team Owls. Pretty much asked half of my team to to play in this show match. Sorry, I'm a little bit more silent than usual. I'm just looking at everything. I think it's really lovely to see. I wonder if we can get some stats off Raider at the end of this stream. Maybe you can tell us how many people have already downloaded 4.10 1 hour after release. Would be nice. I'm planning this stream until 11 o'clock, which is another hour and 15 minutes. And after that I want to play myself. I really can't hit when I'm streaming. At least that's my excuse. And with 1 more minute remaining, I think after this I'll go back to Blade Killer, because I'm starting to get a lot of questions, and don't forget to keep them coming. I'll do my best to ask them all. Can also ask some questions about HD if you have them. Not sure if they will be answered, but you can always ask. And 15 seconds are ticking down, and it seems that the blue team will win 14-7. Actually, let's see if I can get some stats off here. That's unfortunate. Oh, actually, 16%, 13%, all quite low. Actually, Kosan is has a nice percentage there. Oh, actually, the percentages are not that bad. It's normally in 4.1.1 in a competitive match. I would say that 20%, 25% at really high level is normal. I'm going to switch back over to BK, and I'll let the match run in the background. Blade Killer, I wonder if you're still here. Are you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, fantastic.
I was muted.
No problem. Were you watching?
No,
No,
I'm not.
no,
It's
no.
kind of
It's not.
paying attention to our IRC channel.
I'm quite sure you have better things to do than watch watch the stream. There's
I
a
never even thought about it.
no, no problem. It's no problem. There's 10 minutes remaining until the release, so you certainly have better things to do. I do have a couple
Well,
of.
it's always those stupid things you find at the very last minute. No matter how much you test, there's always something that crops up.
Oh, there's a bug.
Yes, there is.
Want to give us insight
And
in that, or?
it's a new one that Kalish discovered today. How pleasant!
Oh wow.
I mean, yesterday was hairy because we found the bug and we got it fixed really fast because it was a bug that had been fixed but came back like they always do. Quake 3 code is just, the mod code is just, it's like spaghetti, I always say, because I've seen this for the whole time I've been here. You fix A, and somehow something that seems completely unrelated breaks.
Yeah.
And you don't test for it because you're testing for A, and you try to test everything, but full regression testing takes a lot of time. I mean, real regression testing means that after every single time you touch the code, you test every single function that is there. Imagine trying to do that.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, nobody's ever, no QA team I've ever had has been able to go through every single thing and do that. I mean, I write up test scripts, and even that doesn't help. So
That's
it's a challenge. I mean, I've had over 300 in my QA team in the past, and stuff still slips through.
I'm sure it does. How can people get on the QA team?
Oh, they can just ask.
Okay. And
yeah, just PM. You can always
are there any requirements?
Well, we have to kind of trust you.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You don't. You shouldn't obviously leak. I mean, I'm sure that some stuff has been leaked in the past.
In the past? Oh yeah. Yeah, and even people get mad at us. We don't do stuff as quickly as they like, or they get mad because we don't do what they want to have done, because other players don't want their idea in the game. That kind of thing. There's always that kind of stuff that happens. You can't help it. Hey, I worked as a QA manager at a big telecom.
Okay.
And I'm used to bugs getting in, no matter how big you are. I mean, we're talking a $10 billion company, and we still had bugs with a new release.
Wow.
I mean, and so then you set out to fix those bugs the next time. Yeah, that's the way it goes when you're doing software. I mean, I don't think there's a company out there that doesn't have some bugs that they do updates and try to fix all the time.
I'm pretty sure that I mean, it's Murphy's Law, right?
Oh yeah. Murphy loves software.
I've got a couple of questions for you, posted by various people watching the stream. Well, first of all, I've got one that's very close to my heart. It's from ALM. How can people report bugs? I mean, obviously the forums, but are there any other mediums you would prefer?
No, the forum is the best way, because then we can get input from other players regarding that bug. If they've seen it, how much we can gauge how often it's happening, or get an idea of what causes it because of reports from everybody. That's the best place. And just report. I've tried, I'm playing on this server, because that's important, because some of the servers have mods on them we have no control over. So tell us what server, how it's set up, if you can tell us what the config is. That's as much information as possible about the playing conditions when the bug occurred. If you don't have that information, that's okay, just mention it and we'll try to find out more.
Video, is that handy?
Not video, but if you've got a hit detection bug, a server demo, that is the best way, because we can actually analyze that properly.
Oh,
that is how it was Hedgehog that found a hit detection bug with the SR8 and gave 27 a proper demo of it, and 27 was able to analyze it and fix it really, really fast because of that. Okay,
so don't forget to make demos whenever stuff happens. I have another couple of questions if you're ready for it. Gaming VOD, also known as Thunder, also known as another alias. let me just read it. He's asking if he can join the development team for instance, GTV or shoutcasting support. He apparently has a lot of ideas or wants to help out. Is there a process of joining the development team?
Yes, email contact@urbanterror.info and explain, who you are. Give us your real name, please, and what your skills are, what your qualifications are. We don't take people who actually have no training, no coding. Like, we want to see a portfolio. If you're an artist, we want to see some code. It may take us a long time to get back to someone because sometimes we just are so busy that we can put it on the back burner with thought that we should, revisit this when we have time. But if you have ideas, present them. Say, I'm skilled in C and C++, and I have coded this, and this in the past, and I would like to do this, and this for the game. That's a great way to apply.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are a couple of people. I think it was SG Root, who's currently in the development team. I'm not sure if I can, maybe should ask him to join us, but I was talking to him on TeamSpeak a couple of days ago, and there was a bug in 4.2 regarding that the spaz was too detailed or something like that for the server, which caused the server to crash. Am I now saying something that's completely weird?
I think that was, it was something in the hit detection.
Okay.
With the spaz. Yeah. It wasn't the model.
Oh,
it
right,
was the
okay.
hit detection. We've had a lot of problems with the hit mesh getting deformed and causing server crashes. And because we changed the whole hit detection system.
Yeah.
So that it's more synced up with the player model, that you can see the hit mesh now matches the animations perfectly, whereas it didn't before.
Okay, yeah, because what I asked him was how did he join the development team, and apparently he contributed on the GitHub, the code, the publicly available code of elements of Urban Terror. I have to say I'm not a coder at all, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But
that would have been engine code.
Engine code. Okay, thanks. Apparently
he makes his own client.
He said something about an increase of or an improvement of 600% in the server code, and that's one of the reasons why he managed to join Frozen Sand. So I mean,
that's right. That's a really good way to do it. You've shown your skills.
Exactly.
So we can look at that and go, hey, this guy knows what he's doing, and he seems to be a nice guy. We like to know whether you're going to fit with the team. It's really important because we all are just volunteers and friends. We want people that we get along with. If you've been trolling us and we kind of don't like you because you've been mean to us, well, you're going to have to really step up and prove yourself and change your attitude if you want to get on the team, and because nobody wants to work with someone that doesn't like them.
Exactly, and I mean, if you have ideas but you bring them in a wrong way, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, that one of my threads that the moment I joined Frozen Sand was kind of brought in a wrong way, and I learned to bring it in the right way, and I mean that's all fine. We're all in a learning process, obviously, and it's just adapting to a different way of communicating. And for me, I'm quite direct, being a Dutchie, but I mean, it's all the best for Urban Terror. Obviously, we've all got the same goal in mind. I had another question. Let me just get it in front of me. This was posted by Brainless. He was wondering if there would be any add-ons or new add-ons for weapons. So outside of the laser and silencer, I guess that he's referring to.
I don't think so, unless somebody presents a really good idea.
Yeah, I guess that, to be honest, I haven't played any other games with other add-ons than a silencer or laser. Maybe I'm not understanding his question correctly, but that's pretty much what he asked. If people have any other questions, by the way, still keep on posting them. I'm really looking forward to them.
We wouldn't add a grenade launcher because I think that would unbalance the game too much. And that's the thing. Every single thing you add into those weapons, you've got to be really careful on because it affects gameplay so much. It is really tough to get really good weapon balance. Now, adding a bunch of weapons that look different but do the same thing, that, well, people just don't seem to want that. I
M4
don't know.
and
Some people
M4
do, some people
LR300. The M4 and the
don't.
LR300.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah, well,
sorry.
I mean, we have to have the M4 because when we took it out, replaced it with the LR, people were very upset. They wanted their M4. Some people like the LR and some like the M4. You know, we changed the specs when we first put the M4 back in the game. It was exactly the way it had been, and since then we've probably changed it. I'm not. It has a little bit wider spread than the LR, if I remember correctly. I have not tested it for a long time now, but the last time I remember checking it, its spread was a little bit wider than the LR.
Well,
so there's a tiny difference.
sorry that I interrupt you, but people can hear an alarm going off, which means Urban Terror 4.2.010 is now available. People, you can go.
Wow, we'll see if they're okay. They've been.
If everything has gone right, it will be available. Indeed, it sounded a bit like a spaceship. I'm sorry about that. I hadn't tested that yet.
T-1 minute.
Oh, T-1 minute. Okay.
Oh, Raiders. It looks like Raiders giving the go-ahead.
Oh my God. Let me just, well, people can, what are the instructions actually to, because I think that there's a slight difference in downloading Urban Terror 4.10 than previous updates.
Yes, there is a new updater.
Exactly.
And there's version 3 available, and version 2 will not work. So the first thing to do is to download the new updater, and it should work a bit better. It's not perfect yet. We do have a version 4 on the way that does a whole bunch more stuff, so it'll be a lot nicer, but until it's finished, we have version 3, which solves some of the problems that were in version 2.
Okay, well, cool. And I heard that, there's more than enough server bandwidth to deal with. I think, I don't know how many people, but if 1,000 people would be downloading at the same time, I think it would still be able to cope with that, if I'm not mistaken. But it's quite impressive what Kalish and Raider have put up to make this release possible.
Oh yeah, those two have worked so hard on everything. It's amazing.
I mean, I haven't seen two people work as hard and continue communicating on IRC in our channel as Raider and Kalish have been. It's quite impressive to look at. I've got some more questions if you're ready for them.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Fire away.
Well, this question was posted by Blutch on our Facebook. I haven't had any other questions yet, but he posted quite a couple. How many people work on Urban Terror? Not only development, but maybe also marketing. Do they work full-time on Urban Terror? And do they have an office, or is everything done over the internet? And how are Frozen Sands activities funded, since the game is free? That's a lot of questions in one, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all done online because we have no, I mean, I'm in just outside Vancouver, Canada. There's people in the Netherlands, in the UK, in Germany, in Poland, and we're all around the world. I don't think we have any team members from South America yet, but Australia, New Zealand we've had.
Well, with that community, that South American community growing as much, I mean, I'm sure that it's only it'll only take a couple of years. I
hope so. It's exciting to see that we have people there, and we have fans starting in Asia. There's a new fan site there. And they've run a few little leagues, and it's great to see more and more people discovering the game and having fun with it. There's at least 30 people on the team now, and like Decoy does the news, he does PR. Everybody has different functions. A lot of us do more than one thing, and it is not full-time because most people have real jobs, or they are in university. And they have to do their studies, and they have to go to their classes. So Urban Terror is something, it's a hobby. Yep. It's something we do in spare time. I mean, I'm finally retired. I'm the old one on the team. And lucky for me, I'm actually retired. But when I was working full time, I used to go, I'd have an 11-hour day with my real job, going to work, commuting. Then I'd come home and I would put in 20 hours a week, 40 hours a week, 40 hours a week on Urban Terror while I was working. I've done up to 100 hours a week when I was on vacation.
Amazing.
Well, I mean, skinning, when I'll sit down on a Saturday morning at 9 a.m. and I won't eat till 9 p.m. because I've just been so involved in what I'm working on, I forget.
Wow.
And so there's 12 hours in one day.
That's dedication. Incredible.
It's fun. I mean, artists are like that. And then the coders are the same. When they really get into something, you want to get it done, you want to see it when you're finished, you get excited about it. And it's easy to put the time in. I think that's everything he asked about.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
he was also asking about how it's funded.
Oh, right, yes, I forgot that one. It's either from the website, we get a little bit of money that pays for the website, the ads. And once in a while we can help buy software for each other, for members of the team. And we buy our own software. Like I own 3ds Max myself, same with Frankie. It's very expensive, so
yeah. How much does one of those copies retail for? I mean, I think it's
$3,500.
Yeah,
US.
Exactly. That's
yeah. So we have some free modeling programs we picked up from Hexagon 2. It's very good. It's much better than the other free ones that are out there, like Blender and Milkshape. It's way better than those. It's more like 3ds Max. So the people who can't afford 3ds Max are using Hexagon 2. So we've done stuff like that where we can afford it. We've helped buy PCs or Macs for like Grade Wolf. We help buy him a Mac so that he can do development on the Mac. Things like that. Wherever we can, we try to help each other so that we can keep developing this game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it doesn't. People might think, hey, free software and free computers, it's really necessary. Obviously, I mean, it's one of the few true multi-platform games out there and available for Linux, Mac, and Windows. And I mean, you need hardware for that to test it, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And we're very thankful to Quake 3, to id Software, for making it a multi-platform game.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, how many mods are still active, to be honest, of Quake 3? I don't think that there are so many, to be honest. I think
there's still Rocket Arena.
Oh yeah, right.
And I think CPMA. And probably what's the one, Frag something, where it's they have all the special cameras. And
is Urban Terror the biggest?
I think it still is.
Yeah,
I think it must be the biggest. It always was. I mean, and it probably still is.
Yeah. No. Well, Blutch posted even more questions. So let's go on to the next one. Is Frozen Sand also working on projects other than Urban Terror? I think that's a pretty good question. That's a very good question, in fact.
Yeah, no, we're not.
No.
This is a full-time project. You know, I mean, I have in the past gone off. We had an idea for a completely different game that was called MX. Had nothing to do with Urban Terror at all. It was a sci-fi game. It was a co-op game. Took place on a planet somewhere in the universe, and we had AI in it. We had monsters that would attack you, and we had vehicles, including planes.
Wow.
But in the end, we came back to Urban Terror. We worked on that for, I don't know, a year or so.
Yeah, I remember watching a little bit of news trickle through to the community, but it didn't really. I think it went to alpha, right?
No, we've never released MX, never.
No, sorry, no. But didn't you have a pre-alpha that you showed to id Software?
Yes.
Something like that.
We had them play, and they told us to go back to Urban Terror.
Ouch.
And then they released a game that was very similar to it.
Oh, wow, okay.
So maybe that's why they suggested that, because they knew they were doing something very similar, and that we were only 4 people. There was no way we could make that game. And we didn't have an engine that could support the map that needed to be made for it as well.
Okay.
The game was a lot of fun, and it was a really genius idea that 27 had, but we needed a full dev house to make that game.
Yeah.
We're talking about something like Halo, where the maps were huge and you could drive a Jeep around and fly. Well, you couldn't fly the planes; they were enemies. But it was fun to work on for a while. But we realized it's just something we didn't have the people to do.
I got a quick question in Twitch chat. Why isn't Urban Terror on Steam?
That has to do all with licensing.
Yeah, I actually read up on that, surprisingly. I can actually talk about that. Apparently, it used to be a lot easier to get on Steam, but since the green light project, I guess we should call it, you need a fan base, a big fan, people that really say that it's good before it gets on Steam officially. Is this correct, or you're not?
I've heard that. There's also, because we're still a mod of Quake 3 and it just doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, it just seems to be really a complex thing.
You have to make the game standalone, for real standalone first. I mean, it's now running on what's the name of it? Quake. I don't know.
It's basically it's a mod for Quake 3, and of course it'll run on any of the open source
Quake
3 engines.
Exactly.
But it still runs on Quake 3 as a mod. We never did anything to it to make it run on the other engines. It just
Quake.
does, because
thanks a lot, Sailor Moon.
Well, we don't have any Quake 3 textures in it. So, and that's all you had to do to a mod to make it run on anything, was just replace the textures, that if you were using ones from Quake 3.
Yep. Sorry, just reading in the Twitch chat and getting even more confused. I have a question from Sotene, the Clambase head admin. In his opinion, it was better when there was Punkbuster. He's obviously an admin, so his point of view is more or less from an anti-cheat perspective, which I would share with him. Is there anything that...
We actually approached Even Balance, who made Punkbusters, and we approached them. We offered to pay them to make an anti-cheat for Urban Terror back, I think it was during 4.0. They said, no thank you. They did not want to have... They just did... It's way too hard. They didn't want anything to do with trying to make it. Do they even keep Punkbuster up to date these days? I don't know.
I don't know if they do it for Quake, but I know that some other games, I think Battlefield, I know that was used in Battlefield 2 for a fact, but I don't know about the current Punkbuster activities. What about an anti-cheat developed by Frozen Sand?
That's something we will be working on for HD.
Okay.
Because we need to have a closed source engine for anti-cheat, really.
So we don't have to expect an anti-cheat for 4.2.
I don't think so. If we come up with a miracle,
yeah.
I think we'd be the only people that managed to do it if we managed. But I think, it's something that we would like to be able to do, but so far have not found a way to do it.
I heard that with every release of 4.2, that hacks would not work.
It does break the cheats, yeah. Each time we update something, they have to update their cheats to go. So you
could have a clean competition every day if there would be a release every day.
A release a day.
But I guess that you'll need a far bigger development team than you have now for something like that. But one of the things that I'm really pro 4.2, that's one of the reasons I am very pro 4.2, because it will break all the 4.1 cheats. And if I'm not mistaken, I saw a link on one of the download sites for cheats that people weren't or didn't want to update their cheats for 4.2 because there were too few players. Well, I guess that with this release that will change, but I don't know. It's still worth moving on to 4.2 since it breaks so many of those old cheats that harass the community. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's a bit of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it is indeed. I mean, yeah, obviously since it's an open sourced game, making cheats for it will be easier, I guess.
Yeah, because the engine is open source that a lot of people use to run the game on. The game itself is not, the mod is not open source, but the engine is.
People saying that I'm visiting cheat sites. Well, actually, the only reason why I visited that cheat site was because it was linked in the Frozen Sand channel. But, okay, we don't have cheat.
You do have to check the cheat sites to see what they're up to.
Exactly, I mean, oh, people are asking, well, maybe I'll have to ask Kalish to set that on. Oh, wait a second. Do you know the game type for Team Survivor? The game type number?
It's game type 4.
Archon G game type 4. I'm really bad at those. Oh, bad Archon password. Well, let me just move over so I can put in the Archon password. And oh, it seems to have changed. Okay, I'm sorry. Keep your questions rolling in. I think we still have some time. At least I hope we have some time. And Archon reload. There we go. Look at me multitasking. Well, not at all, but okay. Some more questions by Blutch. What programming languages is Urban Terror written in? And what tools do the development team use for bug tracking, etc.?
I think it's Quake 3C. It's every time I hear them talking, they're talking C code. And we do have a bug tracker that we use internally.
Okay.
Remember, I'm not a coder, so I can't answer coding questions all that well, other than what I've seen the poor coders screaming about.
And another question by Blutch. He said, 7 of 9, you mentioned recently that you joined Frozen Sand staff. What has changed or will change due to that new status? Yeah, I don't know what I can say. To be honest, it's not really that special what I'm doing. Obviously, this stream, what I'm doing is part of Frozen Sand. I hope to do some more. What I will be focusing on is competitive Urban Terror play. So especially for a competitions point of view, like Urban Zone. Actually, something in in this release of 4.2 is due to some feedback that I gave. Urban Zone wants to organize jump competitions, and my dream would be to have pretty much everything automated. So, for instance, have an IRC bot and make the game server also do a lot of work. So, for instance, posting results on Urban Zone, or at least outputting them to us so that we can process them easier, and so that we don't have to have an admin or a referee whenever somebody does an event, does a jump match. Let's put it that way. And yeah, that's one of the things that at least partially has been worked on. Let me see what is the big change list actually, because it's all there relating to jumps.
The G-Max jumps.
Yeah, exactly. Well, could you explain that actually?
That's something. Well, I believe it was asked that they make it so that you have, say, only 3 attempts at a jump.
Yeah.
I think that's what that's for. There's something about the timer as well, that you only get, an admin can set it so that a player can only have 3 times attempting a jump and having it timed. And
yeah, no,
after
that's exactly it. For instance, that sorry, people are just PMing me crazily now. So that, for instance, well, one of the ideas of a competition that Urban Zone had was to have one map a week. Everybody could compete. They have to talk to an IRC bot and book their attempt, and the match server would do the rest. So, for instance, you would only have 3 attempts at the jump map, and the server would remember where you ended, or the furthest you got on that map, and what time you did it in, and that sort of stuff. I hope that's clear. Let me see, any other questions? Any chance we can have a competitive 4.2 client? So I guess the question is, will there be a different client for 4.2 instead of just a pub client?
I actually don't know what he means.
Okay, for instance, Slacken.
We have never done a different client for competition. I don't know why you need a different client.
Me neither, to be honest. But for instance, Slacken, he created the SACC client, I think it's called, partially named him after himself. But it, for instance, allows you to increase the rate.
That stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he talked to 27 about that a long time ago. 27 answered all his questions. I was there when he answered them all, explaining why he didn't want to change those things. And you know, people have their own opinion and decide to do things anyway, even though they just don't accept the answer, so they do stuff.
Yeah. And
it's an open source engine. You can do whatever kind of client you want to do for it. Mitsu used to do a nice client using 27's IO bumpy code and some stuff. So, but we have our official one, and we can't stop people from experimenting basically and trying different things.
Yeah.
When it comes to network code, it affects the game so much that if we do make changes to it, we want to do them one at a time and heavily test it to make sure there's no adverse effects. That's why we have not, I think we've finally done one change, because now we have Timo on the team to help us with this as well, because this is not a small thing. You can really screw up the game when you screwing with network code. We even tried other games like Half-Life 2 to see if Urban Terror would run better on it. We actually did port to it, decided, nah, forget it. The network code is not good enough in that game. So we stuck with Quake 3. It's just like, yeah, it's really, really important. So,
well, something that we really, well, at least I personally got annoyed with. I mean, I like Slacken and all. I mean, I know that there's also a little bit of annoyance at the Frozen Sand team between FS and Slacken. But the thing is, once something gives you a competitive edge, that normal players don't have, I have issues with that. But yeah, some other people.
Yeah, it changes the playing field, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not very fair to everybody.
And a Division 13 player who isn't as much into the community, for instance, might not be aware of that build. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not obviously a fan of that. But let's move on to a next question. Wait a second, what the hell is this? Never mind. A question by Brainless about how it come that an update of 4.2 breaks cheats, but I don't think that's that interesting, to be honest. Will there also be a 64-bit client of Urban Terror? That question was by Muffy.
Oh, we'd have to ask somebody like Timo about that, or one of the other coders.
We need some coders in here. Let's see if we can actually get some coders in here as well. In the meantime, I'm moving on to a question posted by Zabi.
I saw what you did.
You did? A question by Zabeast. Is it possible to make Urban Terror work in the browser like Quake Live, with integrated stats and community, etc.?
Oh, it's probably possible, but Actually, I don't think we could with it being a mod of Quake 3. I think it's something that we could do if we had our own engine, but I'm not sure it's something we would want to do. It's something to explore for the future and see how well it's working for games that have done it. What I would like to see eventually is a really good stats engine, and we need TCP to do it really well. And I mean, 27 actually did start on a stats engine, had quite a bit done. Unfortunately, he lost it all in a hard drive crash, and he didn't have time to start it. Yeah, and it was so involved and so extensive that he never had time to start it over again. I mean, there are the little ones you get at the end of a map. When you press tab, you can see the whole thing about I can't remember what the different names are anymore. I haven't played for so darn long. the silly ones that we added, but I would love to see a full stats engine.
The wooden spoon award and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, and the mushroom thing or whatever it was.
Yeah, and the Unabomber award.
I would really love to see a full stats engine and have so players can track how they're doing, how other people are doing. I would really like to see, and that is something we really want to do eventually.
Yeah, no, it's something that I also requested as a competitive side of Urban Terror, but yeah, obviously that idea had already been posted in the boards way before I joined. But I'm glad that Frozen Sand also wants to incorporate something similar, like stats, etc. I mean, really in-depth stats is something that, yeah, I would really love to see. The problem with the stats at the moment, well, let me just, while I'm in-game, go to the stats. I'm very pleased that it has been fixed a little bit more in 4.2, but as you can see, it's taking so long for it to load. I don't know if that's due to the game server or sometimes I have the feeling that it's my client, but it's really something that I find so such a shame, and that you have to take a screenshot. If it would be exported to a text file, and you could get some really worthwhile stats out of that and compare and show off your your skills, etc. I would really love to see that in the future.
Yeah, and it's hard to do with UDP, which is what Quake 3 is using. And so the new engine will have something, it'll have TCP in it to make it much more possible to do. But I love the idea because you get so much more community involvement. And it more like the way they do it at Blizzard with StarCraft 2. That's awesome. That's what I'd love to see eventually. If we can pull that off, it would just be wonderful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I've been, even though I don't play StarCraft 2, I watch a lot of streams on Twitch.
I love watching it.
I don't know what it is that makes it so interesting to watch. I mean,
it is so exciting to watch a really good match.
Exactly. It's and I hope, to be honest, that the same can be done for Urban Terror. I mean, it's also the presenters, etc. It makes it better than cable TV sometimes. I have a couple of I have a couple more questions actually now posted in the Twitch chat. Just to remind you guys, if you really want your question to be asked, post it in IRC on QuakeNet. It's 7 of 9. Okay, so the first question was by Mango. Is there a separate team working on HD, or is it the same team working on 4.2?
Right now we're pretty much all working on 4.2. We were all working on HD. For a while, some of the artists were still working on HD while the coders were doing 4.2 because there was nothing for the artists to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on what's needed.
Yeah.
And but we stopped actually working on HD to work on 4.2 for a while, just so the community wasn't just sitting on 4.1 forever. It just was. It's HD is a huge project. We basically are making a brand new game right from scratch. Everything's changed in it.
I think this is I think this is the first time that this has been publicly said by Frozen Sand. For me, it was a huge surprise when I joined Frozen Sand that HD would not excuse me, would not happen on a Quake 3 engine. So for me that was a huge surprise, and maybe for the rest of the people in chat as well. Or was it actually posted on the forums? Do you think? Or no, right? All of a sudden, BK is silent.
Well, you just leaked something.
No, I didn't. You just said that it wouldn't happen on you said that you were making a new engine.
Yeah, we are. We are making our own engine, yes.
Well, I didn't leak that. You said it yourself. Anyway, let's. I have another question. People were GTV Sailor Moon was asking if for the initial handshake UDP will be replaced by TCP.
Yes, in the new engine, yes. Unless something even better is out there. Not being a coder, I wouldn't know, but the last that I saw them talking about it was TCP. It was the best that we had at the time. So we'll see what happens when Rainbow finishes the engine.
Okay. Let's see. Those are questions that are related to coding. Let me see. People asking if there will be an role-playing game for Urban Terror. I guess not.
I don't think so. I don't. I can't imagine. That would be really hard work because a whole single-player game is huge, and doing something like WoW, no, that's not within our scope at all.
World of Terror. People were saying.
Yeah, World of yeah, right. I've gotten hoarse now.
Same for me, actually. Let's actually.
I have a cold trying to get me.
Let's actually take a break and get something to drink. At least I can do with a drink. I've been talking non-stop
me
now
too.
for
My coffee's cold.
1.5 hours. Sorry for that. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Let's say 5 minutes or so. To this continued question and answer session with Bladekiller, the team manager of Frozen Sand and also artist. I still have a lot of questions that were posted in chat, also on Twitch, but keep posting them on IRC so that you know for sure that they will be asked. Bladekiller, are you still here? No, maybe I should have announced her that we would continue in a couple of minutes, but I think she unmuted herself.
Back. I had to unmute my. Is it unmuted?
It's unmuted. I can hear you fine. Thanks a lot for still joining us with this Bladekiller. I got a couple of questions related to, well, I guess other games, like for instance the StarCraft 2 stat system, etc. Will there be matchmaking in Urban Terror?
Oh, I would love to see that. That is a big thing that we would like to be able to do. You know, I hate saying we want to do something or make any kind of promises about stuff because people get excited, they look forward to it, and then something can happen to us and we end up not being able to do it. And then they get mad at us. I mean, it's happened before so I'm very secretive now because of that. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be, because there's lots of things I would want to do, but I really don't like to get people's hopes up unless I don't like saying anything until it's actually done.
Yeah. No.
Once it's done and been tested, then I feel okay. We can tell them that we've managed to do this now, because then there's no risk that we're going to be breaking any promise that we didn't actually make. But when you say I want to do X, people take it as a promise that you're going to do X.
We all have dreams, yeah.
Yeah, and it's disappointing if we say, yes, we really like that idea, we want to do that, and then for some reason something happens, we find out we can't do it. Well, and that happens quite often because the code won't do what we want to do.
I mean,
So
you're
that's
obviously you're coping with a very limited system since it's what is it, a 12-year-old engine. So, I mean, it wasn't made
yeah,
in the
it's
time.
actually it's 14 years old.
14 year. Oh, yeah, sorry, exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
urban.
it came out. The Quake 3 test came out in October 1999.
It's
I remember it quite well, actually, because I was skinning for it.
well, honestly, I don't remember it because, well, this is actually a fun story. I never played Quake 3. I bought Quake 3 only to install it and load up Urban Terror as a mod.
I actually have heard that a lot. I mean, we sold a lot of copies of Quake 3.
I'm very
Just
sure
by
that you
people
have.
like yourself. I mean, I remember, like hundreds of thousands of downloads of Urban Terror.
I mean,
And a lot of those people.
you needed that stupid Q3 key to have a Punkbuster
Yeah.
and to be able to play
Now,
Urban
you know,
Terror.
Quake 3 is completely free now. It comes up and asks you for the CD key. You don't have to put it in.
No,
I
exactly.
play it and I don't put in the CD key. I still love Quake 3. I started with Quake 2.
Oh, really?
And I
Okay.
started with my husband, Rabid Cow, and a couple of friends from work. I used to watch Rabid Cow play Quake 2. I used to sit behind him while he was playing a single player game. And it was great. It was like an interactive movie. I could warn him that there was something he hadn't seen on screen, and I loved it. I can't play it myself. I'm a big chicken. I am a really big chicken, and I hate the lava. But that he got me playing multiplayer against him and two other friends at work,
Yeah.
and that was it. I waxed them.
Hooked.
I doubled their score, and that was it. I was hooked. I like hunting them down.
Fantastic. Great to hear.
And my name actually comes from a game that I was playing before I started Quake 2 that had dragons in it. And a blade was a evil black dragon, and in the game I managed to kill 3 of them with my good one, and before anybody else on the forums had managed. So when I started playing Quake 2, I needed a name, so that's where the name comes from.
Well, that's actually the best question that we actually, if we remember it, to ask it during shoutcasts of matches. The stories of names, it's just fantastic. I mean, too bad that mine's so incredibly boring. But
Oh, I don't think so. I love her. I love Seven of Nine. She was one of my favorite characters on Voyager.
exactly. But the thing is that
She and the Doctor. and I don't think I just. She was a wonderful character. She was very so interesting as a character, and she was an honest character. She was a good person.
Yeah.
So I always liked her. And that costume, that poor actress, she's passed out because that costume was so tight on her. But I really, really like her, and so I like her name because it always makes me think of her.
yeah, no, I mean, one of my binds, it's still there after I think 7 years ago when I started using this nickname. Well, it must be more years now. But my I need a medic bind is activate EMH at the location, the emergency medical hologram.
Ah, jeez. My other favorite character. I never liked the captain on Voyager, but I really like the Doctor and Seven of Nine, and we used to watch the show for those two. I am a sci-fi nut. Yeah.
People in Twitch chat are wondering what the hell we are talking about. Oh no, Trekkie talk. So
I don't like sci-fi horror, so I don't like the Alien trilogy.
okay.
Too scary for me. I'm a big baby. But I like fantasy too, so I'm a big Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit fan. You know, I loved The Hobbit. It was amazing. I thought it was going to be really boring because how long it is. It's almost 3 hours long, but it was amazing. It was fantastic. It was, once again, just having the book taken out of your head and put up on screen. And of course, we worked with some of the software that they use to make that. They use a program called View to make the actual, what used to be a matte painting for the backgrounds.
Yep.
It's now all done in software in View. And we use that to make our skyboxes. So, and we use ZBrush. Or ZBrush.
I remember when the new Turnpike background got released. It was so great for its time, to be honest. And yeah, obviously now it's you notice that it's not as high quality as some other games, but I think when it got released as in 4.0, it was yeah, rivaling other games. It was so cool.
Well, one of the big differences, probably those other games like Portal Skies, which are made out of models.
Yeah.
So it's not just a picture. It's actually a 3D entity.
Okay.
So the buildings are actually 3D. I'm sure that's what they're doing in the other games. But of course, we can't do it like quite like that with this. But what's really cool with view, like if you've seen Avatar, that was done with view. Those floating mountains with the waterfalls, those are actually done in view. You can have animations in view. You can have clouds moving. You can waterfalls in view. But our game can't support that. But wouldn't that be cool?
That would be amazing. That would really be so cool. I mean, yeah, such high quality graphics. We have a couple more questions. This one was just posted in the Twitch chat. It's by The Lion Roars. Have you ever considered doing official Urban Terror t-shirts for fundraising? And Layrex instantly said, maybe socks sound better, but have you ever contemplated that?
For Urban Terror HD, I would like to do merchandise.
Okay.
We'll have clear copyright title, and that's when I want to do merchandising. It's even now we could do some with Nunu's wonderful artwork. I would love to. I'm going to have to get myself going and get that done, because I'd love to see some T-shirts with Nunu's pinups. Wouldn't that be cool to get a T-shirt with his Spawn color pinup on it? I love his
honestly,
artwork.
The first time I saw that, oh damn, sorry that Urban Terror just went away. But the first time that I saw that pinup, pinup especially, I was instantly in love. Actually,
yeah, he is an amazing artist. I love his work. His concept art for me for HD is extremely intimidating, though. I look at it and go, "Oh my God, how am I going to make that in 3ds Max?"
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Wait a second. Let me see if I can get it up here. I already showed it once during. There we go. People might be wondering what we're talking about, but here you can see one of the pinups, and I'm going to see if I can get the second pinup up here as well. And there we go. So yeah, these are all made by Nunu, incredible French artist, and I really love the right one, to be honest. I think the Do Not Spawn Kill, I would buy a poster of that a meter high or 2 meters high and put it in my room. I would be so pleased with that. But
I never thought of that. I hadn't thought of posters.
Honestly?
Good idea.
Well, I've contributed something already.
You have.
But yeah, I mean, that artwork is just incredible, and I hope that Nunu has time to make even more. I even asked him to make something for Knockout. Sorry that I interrupted you.
Sorry.
No
what
problem.
I love about it is Nunu does variations in the kinds of females he draws.
Yeah.
As a female, I like to see variations, not just typical Hollywood bombshell type. You know, they have different shapes.
Yep.
Women come in all different sizes and shapes, just as men do, and it's nice to see that in his artwork. Just that's why I like it.
And they are still beautiful. Whatever.
Yeah, they're more realistic, and I think variations is more beautiful than everybody looking the same.
Certainly.
And plastic. I really hate the plastic.
But you do like 7 of 9.
She's real.
She is real, okay,
actress.
but honestly, the suit that she is in, it really does look so bad. But okay, anyway, at least me as a teenage girl, hear me, teenage boy.
You have gotten yourself plastic.
There we go. That was the reason, obviously, why I chose the nickname. I'm sorry, but that.
Nothing wrong with that. In fact, if you weren't like that, you know, I mean, there wouldn't be any of us here if boys didn't feel that way. Now would there?
I guess so. I had another question by Brainless. It's also related to the matchmaking. It's what all the big games have, friends lists and stuff of that nature. Is that something that you'd be interested to do as well?
Definitely. I think that's a really good idea. You know, we have stuff that we would like to be able to do, and it's just resources, it's time. or ability within the engine, that kind of, or with, there's always something holding us back. We have tons of ideas, and that's another one of the things that one day I'd love to see that. I think a buddy system, friend system, so that you can just find your buddy and join the server that person is on would be just so much fun.
Yeah, no, certainly. Some questions that were posted a long time ago. Let me see. A question by Mango. As a follow-up to the HD 4.2 dev team question, is there any chance of new weapons in 4.2, seeing as HD development has stopped? That's his interpretation.
That's difficult. We tried adding the HD DE to 4.2, and FPS dropped like a stone because we have really high poly models in HD, and the SPAS isn't as complex a weapon, so it's okay. But the DE, we've actually pulled it out in this release and put you back to the old DE because of it, because it just was too much of an impact. It's just like, I can't even put one of my maps, like Tombs is completely different in HD, but it won't run in 4.2. There's just no way. It's got way too many plants in it.
I think it was Root or Phoenix that told me that one of the weapon models that was in 4.2 was higher than the model of one of the player models.
Yeah,
the
DE
sounds
was
so
done
crazy.
with every single part modeled.
Wow.
Because we wanted to test the engine.
Okay. Well.
And so the artist that made it was asked to make it as high res as you can. Like some of the stuff that Frankie makes is just amazing, but you could never put it in the 4.2. It won't run. I mean, 4.2, the first person weapon, like the LR, is around 1,800 tries. Well, these things are like 10 times that. Yeah. I mean, my player models, it's a joy for me to work on an MD5 player model where I've got 12,000 tries to use instead of 1,200. 1,000 or 1,200 or maybe 1,500 for the ones that are in 4.2. You just can't go higher than that. So I've got 8 player models that I've already made for HD. Some of them have real chains hanging on them. Not just painted on, but they're actually separate models that can be animated so they jingle.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool. I can really have fun.
All of a sudden you're a little bit, it sounds like you're further from your mic.
Oh, I might have moved away from it a bit. It's one of these ones that's just on my desk. It's not a headset.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's a bit better. If people have troubles, just post in the Twitch chat.
I'll just lean down a little bit and do this.
Actually, that's already solved the whole problem.
It figures I'm closer to the mic.
I
wonder if I can move it slightly.
I asked Raider for an update on the number of downloads. This was already half an hour ago, I have to say, but. Let me see. It was 2,500 downloads, and that was within an hour.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's certainly very good, and let's hope that a lot more people start downloading it and adopt it as the next version of Urban Terrain. In my opinion,
I hope so, because there's a lot of improvements in it, but it's really important that one, it doesn't crash, and two, they like the animations because that's such an important part of their gameplay. So, and that's something that we'll be continuing to work on, and with feedback from them.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, we mentioned it. I mean, we might have new viewers in the meantime, so we mentioned that your feedback is appreciated. Just keep it normal. Let's no pleasant. No bad words or whatnot. Just keep it constructive.
Don't tell us we're stupid.
Exactly. And Frozen Sand does listen to you, obviously. I mean, Frozen Sand has been listening to the community for 13, 14 years. It's a long time. Actually,
often what people don't realize is quite often we've already thought of something and analyzed whether it's possible to do or not and decide yay or nay to it before it ever gets suggested. That's always been the case over the years. But sometimes people come up with brand new suggestions and we go, hey, that's a good idea. We'll see if we can do it. And then sometimes you do get brand new things in it.
Yeah. A question posted in the Twitch chat by Yahoo or something like that. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Were the broken spawns fixed in Sanctuary? I wasn't aware of any broken spawns, but then again, Sanctuary is a map that's being played in TS a lot. So
Yeah, I didn't realize there were either, and I don't have the .NET for it, so I can't.
Okay, so
Yeah, that was made by Barbecue. He hasn't been around for years.
okay,
I
so we
haven't seen him.
won't be seeing a fix for
No.
Sanctuary anyway. So well, that's the answer to the question at least, even though we don't know about the broken spawns. Um, Another question: is the download capped for the updater, or is it just lag with everybody downloading? It is capped, and if I'm not mistaken, it's capped at either 2 MB a second or 3 MB a second. But obviously, a lot of people are downloading it, so that might be the reason why it might be a bit slow for you. But I'm seeing messages like getting 260 KB per second. That's quite low. But then again, loads of people are downloading, so keep that in mind. And I'm sure that Raider and Kalish are hard at work, as always.
Yeah, they are.
If you guys have any other questions concerning 4.2 or HD or whatnot, then keep them posted in the Twitch chat or on IRC, or of course on our Facebook page. By the way, we were talking about posters and T-shirts, etc. People were also mentioning that you can actually donate to Urban Terror, to Frozen Sand, if you want to help out, right?
Yes, you can. It helps us a lot.
I mean,
the website costs us a lot of money to maintain. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, your support is obviously most welcome. And I think I was watching this guy. He's called Too Good. He has his own studio on Twitch, etc. It's a very professional guy and has a lot of opinions on FPS games. But he was saying it was the topic was DLCs and add-ons and that sort of stuff, and having to pay for it. But if you pay for it and if you invest in the company, you will get more of what you are wanting. So support Urban Terror. Sorry, I'm saying Urban Zone because I'm just used to saying Urban Zone the whole time during shoutcasts. But no, support Frozen Sand, support Urban Terror, and you can find information on how you can support them, obviously, on urbanterror.info. More questions. A question by Skaz, who is a mapper for Frozen Sand. What motivates you to work on the same game during your free time for more than 10 years?
I think my biggest motivator is the team. I love working with the team. I really, really enjoy it. I've always enjoyed that. I liked it in my professional career. I really enjoy working with other people. And I like seeing everybody having fun playing the game. I like seeing my characters that I create running around, and I love watching the coders brainstorm and solve problems. I find that just fascinating. I don't code. I've just never had a chance to do that yet. At work, with my professional job as a business analyst, my coders used to make me read their code. They used to always say, read this, make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. And I go, but I don't know code. Yeah, well, I could read it and I could say yay or nay to it that, yes, this will do what you need it to do. So I really enjoy working with coders and other artists. And it's just, that's the whole thing for me. It's a real passion. It just is.
I mean, like artists, they constantly put in their whole lives dedicated to a couple of projects, and I mean, you've been dedicating over a decade to Urban Terror, so well, we're all really pleased with that, obviously. Are there any subjects you would still want to talk about, Blade Killer?
Nothing that I can think of offhand.
I think we've really discussed a lot. If you've still got any last minute questions, well, I think you're doing great. I mean, so many questions being answered so fast. I mean, honestly, I expected this to be a lot shorter than it is now. I mean, we're already past the mark that I thought we would stop. But getting more questions though from Mango now. He's very interested in CG stuff, done a lot of modeling himself, hoping to take it to as a career. Do you have any advice to get involved in creating models for game industry?
Oh, well, I don't know if it's still this way, but a lot of people did join our team to do just that, get practice working on a mod, making models or coding or whatever. And quite a few people like Apoxel went on, and Sweet Nuts, both ended up working in the game industry. They don't now, but they did. I mean, they worked at Raven and a few other companies. I know a lot of the big companies go to the schools directly now. So like we have ILM come up here to one of our big schools and hire people right out of the schools. But I think practical experience is still really worthwhile. If you're really good at modeling, please apply. We could really use more modelers. If you're good at doing low poly models that are very efficient, and that's the trick with the game like this. You can't just use Turbo Smooth and go to town. You have to really understand the form and where to have your polygons. And I mean, I actually worked on a game with 27 where my characters were 250 tries. Triangle, that stands for triangle. And a polygon is normally 2 triangles. So you can imagine trying to make a player model with only 250 triangles. It was nuts. But
I can well imagine.
That is a really good thing to do, because then you really look at the form and you really get a feel for where your flat planes need to be. And how to shape things as efficiently as possible.
Well, there you go, Mango.
If you've got Mango, if you've got really good skills, send us and if you want to get on the team, send an email to contact@urbanterra.info with an explanation of your skills, what you do, what you want to do, and some examples of your work. Because we're always looking for new people, because we can use the help.
Absolutely. I mean, well, that's Mango. You have an invitation to apply. So I guess that very few people get that. Most people have to go through different routes. I got another question about the features that would really integrate the community with the game, etc. Would it be possible to have a pug bot? Or other people call that a pickup bot system in Urban Terror. So have stuff in the game client itself, like arranging a 5-on-5 with random people.
I'm not sure if that can be done right in the game. That's something you'd have to ask one of the coders about. We've always talked about doing that kind of thing with the website instead.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if right in game is the way to go for something like that. I
mean, I'm going to say a horrible word here on stream, CS. But CSGO, Counter-Strike Go, has this function that you can load up a website in the game and track your stats and that sort of stuff. Maybe integrating the website in the game itself is even a possibility. But I guess that pretty much all of that would be dependent on HD. And
yeah, that's something to keep in mind, though. That's a good idea for HD, because when you're making your own engine, you can do stuff like that.
Yeah, I obviously got the default question that used to be asked to Oswald all the time. When will HD be released?
It's going to be a while. That's why we were doing 4.2, because we have to wait till the engine is done. We're kind of stuck where we can't do much more work on it for the art assets, because we need the engine, and an engine takes a few years, I'm sorry to say, especially when it's a small team working on that.
Yeah.
I mean, Raid Wolf is in charge of that, and he's not even ready to have anybody else work with him on it yet. So it could be a couple of years yet.
Okay. Another question by Skaz. Is it hard to be the only woman in the development team?
Oh no, not at all.
No? Okay. I mean, it's
no, I don't see any difference.
You don't see any difference? Wow. Okay.
No, we all love the game.
Yeah.
And I've always worked, in my professional career, I've worked with both men and women. It doesn't make any difference to me. I really don't care.
Okay, that's a good answer. If you have any other questions, I'm not seeing as many new questions come in. Please post them, and otherwise we're going to I think guess conclude this, because I mean we've already been going now for over 2 hours, and let me see if I can get a quick update of Raider regarding the number of downloads. And obviously the game server that I was specking in is now completely empty. Actually, let me just load up some of the new maps. Archon map beauty for Cascade. What's your favorite new map, Blade Killer?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't even thought of it. I don't even think of them as new.
Okay.
Because like some of them have been like actually were made for HD, and so I played them a lot. And we decided to put the ones that will run in 4.2 into 4.2, and I think Cascade and Bohemia are both ones. You know, I have to admit, my favorite map in Urban Terror is Casa. I'm sorry, it just is. It's my baby. When I was allowed to maintain it for Sweet Nuts, it's just, you know, there's a big attachment to that map.
I can well imagine.
And I like the play. I like the gameplay on that map. There are some maps I really don't like playing. Uptown is one. I'm not a jumper. I've never been able to jump very well. And for me, the map is very disjointed and doesn't have flow. And I really like circular flow in a map. That's what I liked in Quake 2 and also Quake 3. I tend to run a route when I play Quake 3 and 2. And so that's my style of play. And Casa and a few other maps. I like Turnpike. I've had really good matches on Turnpike.
We have a clan in the Euro community, Clan Boobs they're called, and they only play Uptown to the despair of so many other clans. It's really annoys a lot of other clans, but I mean, it's just one of those maps that you choose, and it gives you a competitive advantage because nobody else plays it. So, I guess that's also a tactical reason.
It's a good map, and if you can jump, that map has. Then you've got the flow that, because I'm not as good a jumper, it's not there for me in that map. So I tend to find myself running around a lot on the bottom. But it's a good map, and I do like playing on it. It's just not my style of. Favorite style of map, I'll say, because I pretty much am happy on just about any map. I'm back in the old days when we had streets. That could be fun, but I didn't like all the dead ends in that map. If you remember the original streets.
I remember the original streets, man. I want to play it now.
I know, it was still fun despite the things that I didn't like about it. I still had a lot of fun on that map. And I think the fun comes from the people you're playing more than from the map, if you get my drift. It's like you adapt to the map, and if you're playing people who are fun to play against, it doesn't matter. You just have fun.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all about the people that you're playing with and against, to be honest, because that can also be quite annoying. But
when I say with, I mean everybody on the map.
Oh, right, okay.
Enemy and allies.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, in the competitive scene, it's just so. I don't know. I don't know. It just feels like sometimes part of the soul of the community just dies when it goes into competition mode. People can be so annoying towards each other. Let's put it that way. But
competition. I love it, but it can't. It what's it do to you? It makes you really upset if you feel as though the game robbed you of a kill.
Yeah.
Rather than your own lack of skill. And quite often it's really easy to blame the game because you missed and you don't think you should have missed. Now you're mad because it was so important to you. So there's a lot of passion that goes into competing. So I understand why people get mad.
Okay, we got I'm going to accept 3 more questions, so room for 2 more questions. Layrex asks, are the female and male hitboxes the same in 4.2?
No. The hitboxes match the actual model you see quite closely. I mean, it's lower res, so it's not absolutely the same as the one that, like, When you're looking at the player model, there's actually 3 different models. There's the one when you're really close up, you get the one that's got the most detail. And then when you get back a few feet, you get one that's been reduced a little bit. Things like, say, the belt would be collapsed so that it's not sticking out anymore. And then if the further back you are again, there's another one that's even lower in res. And the hit mesh is more like the lowest res one, and it covers the one you can see.
Okay.
It's not, you can't make it exactly the same or the game wouldn't run if you made it as many tries as the main one you see visible. That's the whole thing with the 3 separate models. That's what we call level of detail. You'll see it sometimes referred to as LOD.
Yeah.
So that's what that means. And you'll see it as a player, the name of the model will be underscore. Like there'll be one that just is like for the head. You have head.md3, and then you have head_1 and head_2. Those are the lower res ones, because when you're way far away from a model, you don't need to see all the detail that's in it when you're up close.
Well, I've just showed a little screenshot, or well, a little video of the R-Debug Ares one, just to show the current hitboxes, and there you can see that yeah, they are lower res, but yeah, still a lot better than the old hitboxes.
The one that's in 4.1 is really low res.
I couldn't show that. I wanted to show that.
That's been added to 4.2 so that you can actually see the hitbox. You can't see it in 4.1, but I have it in 3ds Max, and it's extreme. I made it, so it's really, really low res.
Exactly. They are literally, at least I remember seeing something, it might have been a long time ago though, that they were literally hitboxes. So
it's not like that.
Okay.
That's different. It's never been like that.
It's never been.
Ares.
Okay. Well, then that video was faked.
Yeah, no, they might have been seeing the bounding box, which is an actual box.
Oh, that's quite possible. Okay.
Yeah, they might have been seeing that. Like in other games, they use boxes, and this is why in Urban Terror you can shoot through between their legs, or you can shoot through, around them. And it's much closer to the same shape as the model itself. It's hard to, it's like making an envelope over it that's not as high res. Like you wouldn't put in the belt, you wouldn't put in the straps, and all the stuff that can be modeled in to the visual model, you don't do. But the old 4.1 hit mesh is much lower, so it's not quite as accurate.
No,
and the really hard thing is making sure the animations are synced. We've had bugs in the past where they were unsynced, like when climbing a ladder. You couldn't kill someone on the ladder because where the hit mesh was not where the model was. So that was a really old bug fixed many years ago. But that's the sort of thing that can go wrong, where the animation gets out of sync on the hit mesh.
Yeah.
Compared to the player model. I
guess there's so many variables in creating such a good game, to be honest. It's just something that, I mean, I would never think about the hit meshes being different than the model, for instance, and that sort of stuff, and in animations and but then again, that's why I'm not a modeler. But yeah.
And it's all based on limitations of the engine that you're running on. I mean, it used to be that the hit mesh actually had fewer frames in the animation than the player model, so you could easily have it slightly out of sync. I remember in 2.3 the hit mesh was so odd that I remember watching Sweet Nuts playing, and I was spectating him, and I noticed that he would make little circular motions around with his weapon and sort of hit the edges of the hit mesh. Okay. And we realized there was a bug. And if it would miss if you were actually shooting at the mesh, like directly, say, the center. So by watching him play, we realized there was a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that any bug can still appear. I mean, wasn't it the hit that there was also a hit bug in 4.2 which caused all the servers to crash?
Yes. Yeah. It was the hit mesh deforming incorrectly. It, and we had no idea it was happening. What was causing that crash? It took quite a while to figure that one out. Yeah. And every time it's updated, you risk having that happen again, and you can view it and it looks okay. But of course, you know how the model's moving, so it's bending and stuff, and something was just deforming the wrong way.
Okay, I have one more question posted by Nisse Linux. If there is a new map included in this new release?
No new maps. I just fixed Turnpike. I got told that there's by the washroom, you could shoot through the wall and hit somebody that was and hit somebody on the other side of the wall if they were up on top of that waste paper bin beside the photocopier. So I fixed that.
Yeah, no, I remember that I posted that on the QA forum. That was after I had a shoutcast in which one person got killed through that.
Oh yeah, it's your fault I had to work on that map again.
Indeed. Sorry for that. Okay, we have one last question, and it's probably the lamest question that you can get asked to you, but what's your favorite animal?
Horses.
Horses? Perfect.
Easy answer. Horses, cats, then dogs.
Okay.
But if I could only have one animal, it would have to be a horse. I used to have horses, and I miss riding.
I've unfortunately I'm as allergic to horses as I am to pretty much any animal.
I tested allergic to them, but I just don't allow it. No.
Well, I'd probably have to eat half of a pharmacy to be able to even get near a horse. It's quite bad.
It's funny because I did have the allergy test done, and I test positive to everything they tested me for, basically. Cats. Oh my goodness, I had Siamese cats as a kid, and my eyes would be swollen shut for 2 weeks, and then I'd be fine. Oh. I'm not giving up my cats. There's no way.
Oh, well, that happened to me, and I was heartbroken as a kid, but okay.
Yeah, I just stuck it out, and then after a while, it stopped being allergic to them. I can go near cats now, and it doesn't bother me at all.
Great.
And I never ever reacted to horses. You know, like I say, I just wasn't allowing that.
Too much love. Too much love.
Oh, I mean, one thing, speaking of, I got to watch all of the equestrian events at the Olympics online. And it's just so amazing to me that we have this technology nowadays where I can sit down and watch something like the dressage for 6.5 hours and see everything. And it was never even televised in the past. Now, you get like 15 seconds of the dressage in the coverage on the Olympics in the past, and now I can go and I can just sit and watch it as long as I want.
Perfect. I've got the same with gaming now.
And one of my heroes is from the Netherlands.
Oh, Ankie van Gunsven.
Oh yes, I love Ankie and Salinero, and I
think that horse just went to on retirement 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
It was in the national papers here.
She took him to the last Olympics. He won when he was what we consider a baby for dressage in Athens. He won in Hong Kong, and I can't remember his placing. He was something like 5th maybe at the last Olympics in London.
I wouldn't remember, to be honest.
Unfortunately, the other horse that I really liked, that was Edward Gall's horse, Totalis, he got sold, and he didn't get to compete in the Olympics because his new owner got sick, unfortunately, and so that's really he's an amazing horse, so that was too bad. But the girls from Britain that won, the girl that won with her horse, they did a beautiful job. They fully deserved that medal. So it was just a joy for me to get to watch all of that.
Yeah, I mean, we've all got our favorites, and well, for me at the moment, the moment I discovered Twitch, to be honest, I knew I found some place that I could always just switch to whenever I was completely bored out of my school to watch something that's always interesting. I don't know, I just love this new streaming stuff, and that's also why I had to get on board with it. I mean, we've already shoutcasted over 200 matches, and just keep on going.
That's really great. I think this new technology, I just think it's wonderful. I think it allows people to come together from all over the world and do things together that they're passionate about. In the past, what did you have? You had letters and telephone was so expensive.
Yeah.
I used to be a long distance operator in the 80s. And now we have Skype. I mean, it's just, I love it.
I wondered. My father still says we're in the Stone Age, and I guess he's right. To be honest, I think that we have only just started to scrape what's possible.
Yeah, just scratching the surface. You know, if there's.
Oh, I hear
somebody else is cooking.
Oh, okay. I thought time's up. We have to stop the stream. Anyway,
he's probably made. I don't know what he's made. He didn't tell me what he was cooking.
I hope it's lovely.
Oh, it will be. He's a fantastic chef.
You've definitely deserved it after coping with me for over 2 hours.
Well, it's been my pleasure. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
I've enjoyed talking to you too. It's the first time that we've actually really spoken, but always already felt that I knew you because all the information that gets posted about. Yeah, I mean it's such a small community. We all know each other, even though it's just a little bit. I would like to.
Yeah, that actually is a good point. It is a small community, and that is another reason I really like this game, because of all the friends I've made in this community over the years.
Yeah, no, I mean, and people always come back to Urban Terror. Always.
Yeah, there's something addictive about this game.
You
maybe it is all the interaction between. Well, I still consider the dev team part of the community. I never think of it as something separate.
And I think that that's also quite rare. As you mentioned at the start of the stream, who of Electronic Arts checks the forums? Well, probably a community manager, but not somebody from the development team themselves. I mean, maybe if you get a certain number of requests, it will be passed on to the development team. But yeah, I don't know. I guess, yeah, no, I don't guess. I know that we are very lucky with this development team. I'd actually like to conclude the stream. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope that everybody will enjoy 4.2.010 and support Frozen Sand. I mean, give them your feedback and give it in a nice way, obviously, and yeah. Also tell them that you enjoy stuff about it, because that's always something that is so underrated, in my opinion. I mean, people always, yeah. The critics always have the most to say. Obviously, I mean it's part of the gaming scene, part of any scene, to be honest. But yeah, just also tell them you like what you're seeing and you like what you're playing, and hit them up on their Facebook and Twitter and whatnot. I mean, you know what to do. Just support the Frozen Sand development team. They deserve it. BK, anything remaining to say?
No, I think you just expressed things quite well just now, and it's been really fun doing this interview with you, and we'll have to do more of this. I used to even shoutcast at one time.
Oh, really? Well, now you're really in for trouble. Now I have to ask.
I don't think I could shoutcast anymore because I haven't played for so long. Seriously played. I mean, it's one thing to run around and test, but it's not the same as competing. So I'm not sure I could do as good a job as I used to be able to.
We'll see.
Okay, we'll see.
You've really now opened a can of beans that you can't close. Okay. Well, I enjoyed it very much. I hope everybody else enjoyed it just as much as I have, and we'll shoutcast more. And don't forget, this Sunday we've got Nations Cup action coming towards you. Hit us up on Facebook, etc., and you will be up to date with all our activities. I just got an update from HSO Havoc on the number of downloads. We are now 1.5 hours in since the release, and we are at 3,800 downloads. So going strong. Very strong. Hope you all enjoyed it, and we are going to conclude with a song that Oswald always played, and which has started to become a tradition. It's the trumpet song, everybody's calling it now, but most people or might also know it as Spanish Flea by Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. Good night, everybody.
That's right.
And thanks a lot, BK. See you.
Thanks for listening. Bye.